Setting the table isn't just about what's on your plate. It's about preparing yourself for all the tables in your life, mind, body, and soul, for the life that you deserve. Welcome to another episode of Setting the Table Meal Prep with Dr. Shani. But today we're going to be talking about a very important topic, and let's be honest, a pretty common one: gut health, but with a focus on constipation. So let's define it first. Constipation can typically be defined by having less than 3 bowel movements within a week, but some persons may also experience difficulty passing stool, hard or dry stool, or feeling like you haven't completely emptied your bowels, right? And to be honest, constipation can occur on the occasion in different persons, but when it sticks around, it often really does impact our daily lives, right? If you have noticed any change in your bowel habits, so one day you're having diarrhea or you're having loose stool, or and then the other day your stool is hard, or when it's been going on for a few weeks or a few days, or you're seeing blood in the stool, whether it's coating the stool or inside the stool, or the stool is dark or black, tarry, or you're experiencing any unintentional weight loss, then this video is not for you, right? You should see a doctor, discuss with your medical doctor, and see one urgently. These could be signs of an underlying condition which needs to be addressed urgently. So this video is for persons who experience constipation and the constipation is determined to be secondary to your diet, right? So let's talk about how you set the table, not just for breakfast, but for better bowel health. Here are some practical, sustainable ways to improve digestion and finally get things moving. The first thing, drink more water. This is one of the very most simple, overlooked things that you can do to increase your bowel movements or improve your bowel habit. Aim for at least 8 glasses of water for the day. If you're in a hot climate or you're more active, then you may need to drink more water. Hydration keeps the stool soft and easier to pass. The second one is the increased high fiber foods. So what are these? Some persons say, I eat a high fiber diet, but really, do you? Do you know the foods that have high fiber? So some examples of those include oats, barley, quinoa, brown rice, just to name a few. You can start by swapping white flour for whole wheat flour, and you want to aim for anywhere between 25 to 30 grams of fiber per day. But if you're struggling and you need some assistance with high fiber foods, you can include my favorite supplement, Metamucil. See this orange large container in the pharmacies? It's a dream, a godsend for people who need additional fiber in their diet. It's very simple. Metamucil, this is not a paid ad, but I don't mind being sponsored. So you do this 2 times for the day. Mine is almost finished, but you need 2 heaping spoons. So I'm going to put 3 because mine aren't really heaping right now. Or 4. But ideally, you need 2 heaping spoons. It's orange flavored, so it's really nice even for kids. Some water, just enough. And mix it vigorously, very quickly. And then just drink it all down. No lumps. It actually tastes very nice. For anybody who's wondering, it tastes great. That was my Metamucil for the morning. I might have another one in the evening. The next thing is that you want to include fruits and vegetables, but not just any fruits, high fiber fruits and high fiber vegetables. So what are those? So, like we eat the orange, but we don't really eat the middle part of the orange. You have to ensure that you eat the middle part of the orange. Turn it inside out and make sure you eat the inside part, right? Other fruits are like pawpaw. It's a very great fruit for persons who are struggling with constipation. If you eat one or two of these per day, trust me, you will never have constipation again if it's due to your diet. Another fruit that you can consider are like prunes. So it's a fruit that actually tastes very bad, but it's very good. And just like most medicines, they don't taste good, but you eat them or you drink them because you know it's good for you. So that's kind of the mindset that you have to take when you're eating prunes. But if you want it to, taste up the prunes or something, maybe you can add some pawpaw or another fruit like an apple that's sweeter to add to help with the taste and include it in a juice. But it's important that you eat the pulp. So if you're gonna buy the store-bought prune juice, ensure that you buy the one with the pulp, right? Because that's where all the goodness is. The other things that you consider are vegetables, and some vegetables that are high in fiber include like broccoli, carrots. Carrots are great, right? String beans, cauliflower, spinach. Spinach is another wonderful source of fiber. So you also have to consider when medications may be necessary to be added to whatever diet or whatever foods that you're eating to improve the fiber in your food. But we're going to talk a little bit about some of these medications. Some of them are prescribed and some are things that you can get over the counter. We're going to talk briefly about laxatives. So this is like a Dulcolax or Bisacodil. This is for persons who are making stool, right? The stool just needs a little bit of help. So the stool may be stuck in the colon or in the intestines as it comes down. The stomach or the intestines, they typically has like a peristalsis, which is what we call it. It's like a little contraction that moves the stool or moves the food along the digestive tract. And some persons, that peristalsis is not very strong. And so you may need some help, you know? And so this is what that medication does. It's a stimulant laxative. You may also have the option of taking something called glycerin suppositories or hyperosmotic suppositories. And what this does, it's like a little, it looks like wax. It's about this big. It's a little cylindrical wax-like substance, and it has a pointed edge, and it's smooth. It's pointed. It's shaped in a. It comes to a point, but it's not sharp, right? But it's shaped like that so that it can be easily inserted into the rectum. It's something that you can do for yourself, or if you have to do it for someone that you're taking care of, it's very simple to do. So you just put on a glove and insert it into the rectum. And how this works is that sometimes the stool that you have in the colon, it's hard or dry, and when the suppository is inserted inside, it mixes with the stool and it pulls water from outside of the colon to inside the colon, and it mixes with it, and within about 15 to an hour 15 minutes to an hour, you will get some relief and able to pass the stool. The next one that you need to consider is like a fleet enema. This is over the counter, and if someone hasn't passed stool in maybe like a few days, a week, some people even push it to 10 days. Again, ensure that you have no underlying pathology in these persons. This is for people who it has been already determined that there is no underlying pathology and the constipation that you have is due to diet. You may have some bloating, you feel very uncomfortable, you know that you haven't passed stool and it's kind of like rolled in a ball, and maybe like it's just blocking, your rectum. Over time, maybe in a few days or a few days after, you start to pass maybe like small pellets. They're like about this big of stool. It's hard, and you know that it's there, but you're just severely impacted at that time. If this is you, then you can use a fleet enema. And what that is it's a plastic bottle with some water. It's mixed to a particular ratio. It's like saline. And it's inserted into the rectum and you squeeze the bottle. But importantly, you need to do this standing up. You cannot do this on the toilet seat or lying down. So you do this standing up with the person, both hands on the table or something in the bathroom, the countertop, and you insert it into the rectum. You squeeze it, all of the liquid. And of course, you know that this is going to be very uncomfortable for the person because um, they are already impacted. Their back passage is blocked, right, with stool. So if you're trying to insert something in there, then obviously that is uncomfortable. And not just inserting it, but you're squeezing a liquid inside an already obstructed passage. So it's going to be uncomfortable for the time that you're squeezing it in. But as soon as you remove the spout, you need to ensure that you get over the toilet because all of that fluid is going to rush back down and they're going to get immediate relief, right? So another thing, when you sit on the toilet, you have to sit with your legs closed because you don't want the rectum, which is very stretchy, thin, to tear. You do not want to get any tears in this process. So you don't need the bowel or you don't need the rectum to be stretched. So don't sit with your legs, you know, open. Sit with them closed, right, as you're about to remove the spout. Other thing that you could use is mineral oil. So some persons, what this does, you literally just drink it. And what this does is that it greases the passageway. So some people just need some help with the stool coming out. The peristalsis is fine. The stool is hard. It's not impacted. And you just need some help to grease the passageway, right? And that's what mineral oil does. So while supplements and medications are helpful, it's not something that you should rely on or depend on. It's very important that you find the underlying cause of what is causing your constipation if it is related to diet and address those dietary changes, right? So even though medications may help or supplements may help, it's not something that you may necessarily want to be on long term. What you eat, how much water you drink, how often you drink the water, and how often you move your body, which is something I didn't really touch on, but all of this matters. So set the table with intention. Plan your meals with your digestion in mind, and most importantly, listen to your body. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up, share with someone who may benefit, and don't forget to subscribe. Click the notification bell so that you can see whenever I upload any videos. Remember to stay healthy, stay regular, and I'll see you in the next one.